I am the place in which something has occurred. I am the place in which something has occurred. Welcome, boys and girls. Thank you for watching. Tonight is a special edition of New York Jazz Stories. And these are 3 stories about music and human rights. So the first story is actually an excerpt from a larger interview and a photo display from Cadence Magazine. It's about Emil Mangelsdorf, brother of the wider known Albert Mangelsdorf, trombonist, famous for multiphonics, right? He really pioneered multiphonics. So anyway, this is his brother Emil. And I don't think you can see this, but here's a photo of Emil. And this is a reflection from Patrick Heinle. Okay, so he wrote this and took photos. He says, "It's hard to imagine this compact gentleman of 90, a senior statesman of German jazz, as a juvenile delinquent, much less as an enemy of the state." But Emil Mangelsdorf was once considered both. This was the time of the Nazi government, and his teenage crime was playing decadent music of non-Aryan races and other rootless cosmopolitans, music we know as jazz. He was made to pay. After being smacked around in a cell for 3 weeks by the Gestapo, he was conscripted into Hitler's army and was sent to the Russian front. By the war's end, he was a Soviet prisoner and spent the next 5 years in Latvia, mostly scraping rust off old ships. The task, he said, was far pleasanter in the summer than it was in the winter. Though their barracks were in sight and easy walking distance of the Baltic, only once in 5 years were the POWs allowed to go to the beach. Not for nothing was it called hard labor. After being repatriated in 1949, he came home to a burgeoning music scene in Frankfurt am Main, jumped right in, and has played a pivotal role in its ongoing development ever since. That's Emil Mangelsdorf. I want you to read more, and we'll put the link to the entire article in the notes. So that's his story. next story I'd like to tell you about Barbara Dane. I believe Barbara Dane was known as she's still, all these people are still alive. Emil Mankelsdorf is 95. Let me double check that. 95, yeah. Barbara Dane is 93. Barbara Dane was born on March 12th in Detroit, Michigan. This is again from a larger piece. It's an excerpt. And this was done by T. Thurman. I'll get back to you on who T. Watts, thank you. T. Watts conducted this interview. So he met up with Barbara in the Bay Area. And so this is her story. You know, it seems I've always had an opportunity. I've had opportunities to be one of those performers whose name is a household phrase. But then I would come up against a situation that involved betraying my own ethics. Something I couldn't do. Okay, now once a big agency booked me on tour